こんばんは。皆さん、ウィンスです。今日は他動詞と自動詞と解説していきます。Good evening, everyone. This is Vince Sensei. これは Vince Sensei です。This is Vince Sensei. So for today's lesson, this is lesson 0022, so about grammar. So as mentioned in our previous lesson, I will be discussing to you this important foundation of our learning for Nihongo. So for today, we discuss these transitive and intransitive verbs. So for those who studied English, I guess this is a term. These are terms that are not a first time term, or this is not new to you, I believe. So in Japan, transitive verbs are tadoshi, and intransitive verbs are jidoshi. So this is a very important part of your learning, a foundation, one of the founding elements of your learning in Japanese. So when you say transitive verbs, these are verbs that needs direct object. And in transitive verbs, the verb is done on the system or done on the direct object, or the subject itself is the direct object itself. So remember in our previous grammar lesson, I have discussed to you, if you recall, that STVIODO, if you have English lessons, we call that subject, transitive verb, indirect object, direct object. So if you remember those sentence patterns in English, STBIODO, the STBIODO is a sentence pattern that uses the particle o or wo. In the our basic sentences, like the one in lesson number 006, those only use the wa particle, and for this and that those kind of sentences or standalone clauses has the pattern SLVC in English, that is subject linking verb complement. But for today, we focus on these transitive verbs and intransitive verbs. Just like this one, minasan. In Japanese, notice the two difference. Boru ga ochita. Boru ga ochita. The ball fell. And versus boru wo otoshita. Someone just dropped the ball. Someone dropped the ball. In English, this is someone dropped the ball. Boru wo otoshita. In the sentence, boru ga ochita. The first one, boru ga ochita, means the ball, without any external force or any external aid from unknown someone, the ball just fell in itself. But in the second sentence or second clause, boru wo otoshita, so this implies that there is a doer of the action. There is a doer. Someone did something to the ball. It make the ball fall. So someone deliberately touched the ball to make it fall. Boru wo otoshita. So sometimes the verbs changes when translated into English, such as to put it in the box. Put it in the box. So to put it in the box, this is ireru, a transitive verb. So like commanding someone to put something inside the box. Hako is box. Hako ni ireru. Versus to enter the box. This verb is hairu. Hairu. Hako ni hairu. So the thing that is to enter the box, the thing just entered the box with no external aid. This is hakuni hairu, to enter the box. So this is intransitive verb. This is transitive verb. Ireru is transitive verb. Hakuni ireru. So there are times that without the use of the particle wo and simply using the particle ni, the transitive verb along with the direct object plus ni can stand alone as an independent clause or a seemingly complete sentence or pseudo-complete sentence. Just like this. Ireru is a transitive verb and the direct object is the hako or box. Hako ni ireru. So it just used the transitive verb without the use of wo, just the particle ni. So it happens here, not at all times that the transitive verb will require a wo. Sometimes the usage of ni is sufficient enough to have a complete sentence, just like this. Hako ni ireru. Ireru here is a transitive verb. This one is intransitive. Hairu. Hakuni hairu. It just went inside the box. Okay, so let's build some more learnings here. So since the basic meaning and the kanji is the same, because sometimes in a particular kanji it may mean one intransitive verb and another intransitive verb. So meaning for a certain kanji, it can contain a transitive verb and an intransitive verb inside it. So just like this. Below is a table that will explain it. Just like here. The same kanji, but it has one transitive verb and one intransitive verb. The same kanji, but one transitive verb and one intransitive verb. Minasan, please screenshot this one. Please screenshot this table. So the infinitive form of verb here, the infinitive phrase here, to drop, to take out, to insert, corresponds to the transitive verb. That's the meaning for the transitive verb. So the rightmost infinitive phrase here is the meaning for the intransitive verb. So otos, transitive verb meaning to drop. Intransitive verb for the same kanji, ochiru, to fall. Again, the same kanji, dasu, to take out, deru, to come out. Again, ireru is a transitive verb meaning to insert or to put on top. Hairu is to enter, hairu. Akeru, to open. And this one is intransitive verb. Okay, sorry for that. So again, this one here is akeru, means this is a transitive verb. Akeru means to open, and hiraku, usually in te form, hiraiteimasu or hiraita. Using our previous lesson, the hiraku here, ku, so drop the ku, replace the ku with ita, so hiraita, to be open. And hiraku here is an intransitive verb, to be opened. And then shimeru is to close, shimaru, to be closed. Sometimes when you read kanji like here, I'll give you a quick shortcut. If the sound sounds like iu, like meru versus aru or maru, the meru sound or eru sound is the transitive form, and the intransitive verb is usually in aru sounding, like in maru. That's a rule of thumb, but not all kunyomi reading will is applicable on that kind of easy way or rule of thumb, but most of them. So the important here, minasan, the important here is pay attention to the particles, or be careful with the usage of your particles. So what are the usual particles that we know? So the particle first in the lesson 006, the wa, and then we have learned the ga. Wa is a topic particle, ga is an identifier particle, and we have learned also in our previous recently we have learned about the particle wo, ni, he, and de. So pay attention to the particles. So minasan, I will show you an easy shortcut. But before that, let's have a refresher here. Let's have a refresher or recall of previous lessons. Okay, refresher. The particle wa, when you type it's ha, but when you pronounce it's wa, it is wa. The particle wa is a topic particle. We've already discussed this in our lesson 006. Is a topic particle that gives the meaning. The meaning is as for the topic, wa, and then the descriptive clause or predicate, or follows the pattern topic and then wa, and then the predicate, a predicate that follows the English sentence pattern SLVC. What is SLVC? Recall your English. Subject, linking verb, complement. SLVC stands for subject, linking verb, complement. So sorry about that. So therefore, the pattern topic and then wa has the meaning as for the topic, and then follow it with the descriptive clause. You make a topic, you describe your topic, and then the particle wa, therefore is oftentimes, with some few exceptions, is oftentimes not directly tied to the verb, just like as wo and ga do. Okay, so I will show you a shortcut. A shortcut, minasan. Okay, so easy shortcut with some few exceptions. For transitive verb is paired with the particle wo. Take note, the doer or someone that does the action, the doer of the action, and the ga are not explicitly indicated or could be regarded as invisible within the sentence. So because that's how Japanese people speak. They need not specify the doer, the main doer of the action. So again, the doer of the action and the ga, because the doer and the ga, doer of the action, the ga is usually paired, but they are not at all times, but rather oftentimes they are not explicitly indicated or is invisible within the sentence. Okay, some exceptions on few intransitive verbs that are related to location, because we have learned that the wo is always paired with the transitive verbs, but sometimes the wo is also paired with intransitive verbs. So these are the exceptions. Example is the deru. Deru is an intransitive verb, but it will use the particle wo, although it's an intransitive verb. Example is the verb noburu. Okay, noburu. Okay, I will show some exemptions here. Koko wo deru tokoro desu. You see? Deru is an intransitive verb here. But it didn't use the ga but rather a wo. It is an intransitive but it used wo. Usually the wo is paired with the transitive. These are few exceptions because the deru is an intransitive that is concerned with location or place. We're about to leave here. Koko wo deru tokoro desu. Tokoro is like a nominalization particle that means stating the circumstance or condition, a circumstance. Okay, so the wo, again, recall the particle wo in our previous lesson. It is definition number 1 is for the transitive verb. This is the usual. It indicates the direct object of the action, but sometimes it is related to the wo indicates departure or separation of action, like the speaker is trying to separate from that place. Koko wo deru tokoro desu. So again, the wo here indicates place from which one exits. We're about to leave here, from which one exits. So going back to the usages of wo, this is the usual usage number 1, and I tell you the usage number 4 and number 5. It could be 4, but the most usual is number 1. Second most frequent is indicates the point of departure or separation of action, or an area traversed. Just like here, the deru, intransitive verb, to leave, to exit, or to go out, and to move forward, or to depart, or to set out. Okay, so going back to the cheat sheet. So going back, the same is with noboru. Example of this, we climbed through the use of stairs. Noboru is to climb or to ascend or climb, just like in stairs or mountains. Example of this is noboru kaidan wo noboru. Kaidan is staircase. Kaidan wo noboru. Kaidan is staircase. Noboru is to ascend or climb, just in mountains or staircase. And then intransitive verb is paired with the particle ga or ga. Intransitive verbs needs no direct object because the action is done already by the subject on itself, on himself, on herself. There's a usual pattern here for intransitive verb. Subject plus ga, intransitive verb. Subject plus ga, intransitive verb. Just like here, the ice cream melts. So the ice cream, without any third party, without any external aid, will just melt if you take it out of the freezer. The ice cream melts. Ice cream is aisu. Aisu nga tokeru. Aisu nga tokeru. So you see, in this sentence, the ice cream melts on itself. It needs no external aid. It needs no external person or external party. It will just melt on itself. Example number 2, the sun gives off. The verb here is gives off. The sun gives off radiance. The verb here is hikaru, but hikaru means giving off shine, giving off radiance. Hikaru is the verb here. Hikaru is giving off shine, giving off radiance. So tayo is sun. Tayo nga hikaru. So the sun gives shine. So we know that the sun will just naturally, without any aid, it will just shine on itself. It will give radiance or give off shine without any external aid. So another example 3, the rain falls. The rain falls. Ame nga futteru. Ame nga futteru. So without any third party person or any external aid, we know that in our science, in the hydrological cycle, the rain will simply fall. It will fall in itself. So that's how we treat transitive verb and intransitive verb. So please screenshot this one, minasan. Screenshot this. Say no. 1, 2, 3. Then screenshot this one. Oh, I remember. I will just put this in the description box. Okay. So going back to our main reference. Okay. So examples. Watashi nga denki wo tsuketa. I'm the one that turned on the lights. So you see, the doer of the action is usually paired with ga. And the direct object here is denki, or electricity or lights. Denki is the direct object, and tsuketa is the tsuketa or tsukeru. Tsuketa is the past tense of tsukeru. Tsukeru is the transitive verb. So denki wo tsuketa. So who did that? Who did the action? Watashi nga. Watashi nga denki wo tsuketa. I'm the one that turned on the lights. Denki nga tsuita. So probably this is some kind of an automatic light system, a self-turning on light, an automatic system. The light just turned on itself, probably an automatic mechanism. Denki nga tsuita. So tsuita is actually, it came from tsuku. Tsuku. Past tense of tsuku, it's tsuita. Denki wo kesu. Please turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Denki wo kesu. So denki is the direct object. Kesu is the transitive verb. So denki wo kesu. Denki nga keru. So probably there's a power outage, or there's a blackout, or probably a self-automated mechanism. Denki nga tsukeru. Lights turn off. No external aid here. Probably a self-mechanism. Dari nga mado wo akita. So ga again is an identifier particle. So it answers the question, who is the doer? Who is the doer of the action? Dare. But dare is a type of question that asks who. So it can still be partnered with ga. So ga will always seek the doer of the action. So whether it is definite or we're just in query mode, dari nga mado is the direct object. Window, dari nga mado wo akita. Who opened the window? And then mado nga doste hiraita. Hiraku, here hiraita is the past tense of hiraku. Hiraku is sorry. Suzukeru. Okay, suzukimasu. Okay, continuing. So example, mado nga doste hiraita. Why has the window opened? So hiraku, dictionary form hiraku, past tense hiraita. So hiraku here is an intransitive verb. So based on the context, intransitive verb. So it probably is it just shut off on itself, or probably because of strong winds, or there's a storm, or in some context, in some sentences, just based on the context, hiraku can also be a transitive verb. So but anyway, the ga is not is sometimes ga is not always directly tied to the doer of the action, but ga, as we have told in our previous lessons, ga basically is also an identifier particle. So it identifies mado or window. So opened what? What has been opened? Mado or window. What has been opened here? Mado. So we identify what has been opened here. So as we identify, it's the mado, it's the window. So using the identifier particle, it's the one that needs to be identified as usually on the left side of the ga. So mado nga doste hiraita. So the important thing to remember here is that intransitive verbs cannot have a direct object because there is no direct acting object. There is no direct acting agent, or there's no external aid. There is no external third-party person to do it. So the following sentences are grammatically incorrect. Take note, incorrect. So please don't make this kind of mistakes. This kind of sentences here. We have 3 sentences here that please be careful not to make these mistakes. Denki wo tsuita. The wo should be replaced with ga or wa. Denki wo kieru should be replaced with ga or wa, but usually ga, because kieru here is intransitive verb. Doste mado hiraita. So a second person is asking another person why the window has been opened. So the one asking this question identifies the object that has been opened, which is mado or window. So since the problem is the context is identifying which was the direct object that was opened, so we use the ga because we need an identifier particle here, not a wo. So let's have again a notes here. So just like here in refresher. So probably I'll just put this in the description box also, the refresher about the particle wa, because when you see a particle wa, just like here, the usual sentences you see in lesson number 006, it's just the sentence pattern in English, SLVC, or subject linking verb complement. So therefore, how you read the sentence like topic wa and then blah blah blah, topic wa and then descriptive clause, it is to be read as, let's say, topic wa and then blah blah blah. It has the meaning as for the topic and then wa, then state your description, then state your predicate. The particle wa, therefore, is oftentimes not directly tied to the verb like the wo and ga do. Okay, so the only time you can use the wo particle for intransitive verbs is when the location is the direct object of a motion, as briefly described in the previous section. Just like here, heya wo deta, I left the room. Heya, this one is heya or room. Heya wo deta, I left the room. And just like here in the example I showed you, koko wo deru here is an intransitive verb, and intransitive verb it was paired with wo rather than ga. Koko wo deru tokoro desu. So deru means to leave that place. Koko is the place. Koko wo deru tokoro desu. So going back, so just like here, one of the exceptions, heya wo deta. Deta is the past tense of deru because deru is an ichidan or ru verb. So drop the ru, replace the ru with ta, deru becomes deta. And deta or deru is an intransitive verb, but here it didn't use the ga but rather wo, which is some of the few exceptions. Because, why so? Because when a location like heya or koko, when a location is the direct object of a motion verb like deta, as previously discussed, heya wo deta. Okay, so that's as far as we go. In our next lesson, we will discuss, because we have already laid the foundation for our basics, we are now ready to discuss topics about relative clauses and sentence order, but that will be for the next lesson. But for now, this is as far as we go. So 最後まで見てくれてありがとうございます。So thank you 皆さん for watching until the end. So may I ask to please like, share, and subscribe. So ご視聴いただきありがとうございます。ご視聴くださりありがとうございます皆さん。So また次の動画で。So thank you for watching until the end, and we'll see you in the next video. また次の動画で。またねみんな。バイバイ。